And quickly, again, offensively made maybe some strides run game, but at the same time still inconsistent. Stephen Houston, I think, is getting better, running harder. We had a few changes, probably helped us short term. I don't know if they helps us long term. So we probably got maybe Wisconsin, maybe with a couple new formations where they weren't maybe as clean as they would like to be. So we got to make sure. It's like we figured out the run game. It was nice to have it a little bit better. But at the same time, our passing game has definitely fallen off. Protection-wise, quarterback having confidence, staying in the pocket. We complete 1 third down pass. We completed 1 down the field pass on 1st and 10. The rest of the passes we completed were play actions off the running game or run deals. So just our efficiency in intermediate, high percentage throws. We're struggling that way. So the run game picked up a little bit. That's nice. I still think we got a long way to go there. But I do think, Steven, short term, 2 weeks in a row. Probably one of the few guys we've had one solid game. He came back the next week with another solid performance, and we'll keep building him. And hopefully with that, we'll keep D'Angelo and Matt Perez moving forward. Offensively, 3 turnovers. One time they go 80 yards, but all 3 did lead to scores. A punt execution that was poor for a 20-yard touchdown drive, a punt return. So we give a good team, easily 21, 28, 31 points, and then they played pretty good on their part defensively. Didn't tackle well, didn't get off blocks well, and we just got a lot of work to keep doing. Made some strides, a couple, 3 weeks getting better, but that was a little bit of a step backwards against those guys. But again, Wisconsin, decent team. Moving on this week to Iowa, coming in, another solid, really good team, 4-2. They'll look to get their running game going as they did last week against Northwestern. They haven't ran the ball quite up to their standard, what Coach Ferentz and their guys are used to. The quarterbacks played great defensively with Coach Norm Parker and Phil Parker. Those guys have been there for decades, and they're solid, and they play good defense. They, like Wisconsin, they don't give up big plays. They make you earn it. They typically don't turn the ball over, play sound football, and they're going to kicking game. Some things we're trying to get to. Again, another program I respect, and the job Coach Ferentz does, I think they're really good. So another good challenge going to get those guys. Good start yesterday, Monday. Yeah, I think your guys are battling with good attitude. Young guys are getting better. Old guys are fighting through it. And we'll march on here to Iowa City. Questions? Yeah, Bobby went yesterday, and he just got the end of practice Wednesday. In one of their little sessions, just got hit in the head, and a little woozy, and with the test and the way those things are, you're pretty very, very cautious, with some of the things going there. So, he wasn't allowed. I think he was close Saturday, but again, long term, he did practice yesterday. Matter of fact, my concern yesterday was don't overdo it, with both his Coach Dearson and himself to get back in, but looked good and was out, and we were in shoulder pads thumping around. It wasn't a walkthrough. DeMarlo has done some light work, kind of tweaked his knee, was having a hard time walking Saturday. So after he got hurt, so we just put him in street clothes for the second half for his sweats. But he did practice a smidge, although we'll see day to day if he's up to speed. Will Maddie didn't practice yesterday, and as we move forward, he's not been ruled out. It'll be as we go through the week. He's got like a sprained knee, not major, but at the same time, can he play with it and be strong and stable and mobile? Well, again, good question. Again, we started the year pretty decent, on third down the first couple, 3 games, but you're playing better opponents. So we played through 3 pretty stout defenses. And again, when you do get behind chains, playing uphill, protection-wise with the young guys, we got some guys that, the pocket will get pushed. So for timing, and as I say all the time, the receivers, you're not trying to beat the corner, the safety on the route. You're trying to beat the guy rushing the quarterback. So as coaches, we got to continue to look. Last week we did a few things to try to help us on the edges, to try to help, the defensive ends with some maximum protections or guys staying in. Actually had that the week before on a play that was a fumble and a touchdown return. It was a max pro, but we're trying to, help those guys out. We try to screen one time on second long, we misconnect on. We've tried doing it, had a couple quarterback draws. I mean, you keep trying to do some things to be rush friendly, to help. You got to put yourself in position, that offensive lineman, the matchup. So do you give him double team help? Do you chip with backs or tight ends? Do you max and keep everyone in? Do you run screens and draws? But when we get behind, it's, you know, you want to be ballpark 50% on third down in the long haul. You'd like to think on 3rd and 1s and 2s, you're going to be 80 to 90%, and 3rd and mediums, you're going to get about half. And when you get to 3rd and more than 10s, you're going to be 20%. And at the end, it works out to being about half. So our deal is when we get behind chains with a penalty, our first 5 drives, 4 times we go across midfield, 1 time we score on the long run, and the 1 time we don't, we get a holding call. When the drive's bogged down because of a 3rd and 2, we jump all sides. 1 time we get it down, 2nd and 8, we throw a quick pass that we don't throw, and we get called for holding and play. Actually, the way the quarterback threw it could have been a pick. So again, we've moved the ball, but once we have a penalty or once we have a play that gets us 2nd and 12, we don't tend to overcome that real good. We did the other day with a couple runs. Our first 3rd and 6, we just ran the ball for about 12 yards. So again, we just got to keep looking at putting our guys in matchups. So you can say you want to throw it on 3rd and long. I think, again, defensively, we feel like, you know, we need to score some points offensively to help the defense. But then that being said, we're getting one-dimensional and throwing it too much, and the ball's in the air and on the ground too much, and we're turning, and then we're hurting the defense. So you keep trying to put it together. I'm watching some teams play that are playing really strong defense, and they're playing very, very vanilla offensively. But that being said, as they put it together, it's giving them a chance to win. We're not being good on either side of the ball right now. The offense is stressing the defense out. So, Dustin, the key deal is we can't just go run, throw it on 3rd down. But when we get 3rd and 8 or more, we're not going to be we're not really good. We converted 1 the other day, but most teams aren't that good, and we're not quite as good as some teams are that need, you know. So we're going to be less than that. So our best drives are when 1st and 2nd downs don't get us to 3rd down, or 1st and 2nd downs get us to 3rd and manageables, and we stay on schedule, or 1st and 2nd downs get us to 4 down territory, as we did the other day on 4th and 2, and we actually ended up calling a play wrong, and the quarterback went the wrong way, and we lose the play there. So. Well, yeah, and again, we do a fair amount of, you know, that's why some of those, quote, post chops we had are on some of the quick protections where we're cutting and the guy is trying to help a buddy and the guy goes low, and those are quick slant passes or fade outs and quicks, and we've had a few glitches and penalties along the way when you're cutting protection to slow the rush down, to help some young linemen out, and you're going behind chains there. So we have a fair amount, and I remember early 90s at Miami of Ohio, a great coach at Pittsburgh, for the Steelers, one of his comments was, "You guys seen zone blitzing?" Me and Sean Payton went to visit him. He said, "No, we don't know what you're talking about." "Well, you're going to see it. And ask yourself how much you can throw slants on 3rd down." So, you know, we always start with what are the easiest protections that can we get 5 yards on that, or 6 yards, or 7 yards, or 8 yards. So as we do our game plan on 3rd and long, we always look at what are the easiest protections to get it done. That being said, our receiver play's been very, very poor, going back to Penn State play with all the drops. We're not playing with any sense of speed and urgency out there. If you watch our receivers play, we play very fast on routes, and then when it's a run play, we jog off the ball. Our young players are battling, getting better, but we need better receiver play. So it's a collective deal. I don't think the quarterbacks trust the line. I think the receivers don't practice or play with speed, that the quarterback knows where he's going to be. And we're just an offense and a passing game that's completely out of sync. And that's real. Now, how do we fix that? We keep practicing, staying positive, but point being said, we've got to find some passing that works as we move forward. So. Oh, I mean, you lose guys all the time, and so we're trying to stay positive. We're not pointing fingers, and we're trying to practice hard. With that being said, I think as we move forward, we're seeing a lot more positive energy out of some of the young guys as we're moving forward. That's nothing against the old guys. Again, I'm doing some things with those guys as they're kind of doing our leadership of doing some of our post-practice work when guys are missing class and taking a leadership role. And I didn't do a good job initially, I think, of getting those guys to run. Every team's run by your players. And I didn't do a good job maybe getting our senior guys, collectively doing things the way I think we need to do it. So not mad at them. But at the same time, as we're playing, we do have a fair amount of those old guys getting hurt. I mean, you go last game, you got Drain out. You got Atkins got a knee sprain, wasn't playing at the end. He's out. He won't be dressing this week. It looks like he's out. I know Jones has been out. Belcher was out. So you're getting to the point where senior-wise, you're actually, some of those guys aren't even in the practice mix. So that being said, there's a lot of young guys working, and that's where there is a lot of positive stuff. I think these young guys, we keep saying who plays best, and it's Mark Murphy, who had a winning performance, Stephen Houston. And so a lot of the young guys are doing well, and again, we'll keep, pushing those guys and keep pleading for the old guys to finish there, because they're, all those guys are on track to graduate. They're all going to be Hoosiers for life. We want them to finish with a good experience. We're playing some games on the stretch we can win. Tough challenge this week. Be good to win it. But again, we're going to keep practicing hard, but keep practicing positive. I'd like to see some of those old guys embrace that. It's a two-way street, though. So we need those guys to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I just think when you're playing, the more Stephen Houston has played, now he's picked it up. Now, D'Angelo's a young guy, hadn't played much the last couple of weeks. So what's his body language and mind thought process as he's battling through that. So, sometimes it's just, when you're having success, whether it be personal or as an offense or defense, or if you're a specialist, if you're having success, you kind of create your own energy. And so, there's some young guys probably not doing well either. Again, each guy, I think our game's very stressful. We work awfully hard, and I think there's a lot of stress on these guys. We got them up early, working hard, going to class, study hall at night till 10 o'clock. They're working, I guess some guys working 13-hour days. It looks like when I look at their class commitment, practice commitment, study hall commitment, and we got 4 hours of time that's athletic related. I got guys that are starting at 6 or 7 in the morning, getting done at 9 or 10 at night. And that being said, when you're working hard, if you're having game success, school and everything does well. When you're not having game success, I see guys falter. So to me, the real deal is we're building forward is trying to find ways to stay positive and have success and keep working hard. And that's what we're trying to do in practice. That's what we're trying to do off the field. And some guys are struggling with it, but some guys are doing well with it. Well, you got, defensively, Greg Heben's playing well. Of course, he's a walk-on young man. So I think I counted up the other day, we got 13 walk-ons that are playing in starting roles, have earned scholarships or special teams. So, there's some guys like that that have complimented, those guys. Defensively, you're getting a fair amount from the D tackle spots. Those guys are all juniors, counting Sliger and Metzer and those guys. You really, defensively, Cornley and Phyllis last game, actually, first game in a while, they had played a little bit. I think Bobby Richardson playing well maybe sparked them because they actually didn't play what we need, but played better than they had against a better opponent. They showed better there than they did against some of our non-conference folks, which was good to see. But those two guys weighed 240 pounds, and it's too small. We got those guys on track. To me, when we got a guy on a weight gain plan and he's not gaining weight, that's no different than a guy not going to class. That's a part of your commitment to get big enough and strong enough. So those two DNs are a little bit light. Secondary-wise, there's not a whole lot going on out there except, the freshmen that are playing. Offensively, you're really getting nothing out of the offensive linemen. We got Billy Ivan, Peter Bachman on the scout team trying to get them bigger. They're too light, but they're up in the 280 range and gaining. Skill-wise, there's not much of a receiver there. So there's really not a lot of bodies. We'll have, I think, on paper, when the seniors graduate, and I don't know if this is right, but I think we're going to have 16 redshirted freshmen and 16 true freshmen will be sophomores. That's 32. Your redshirt and 7 guys, that's 39. And we'll sign a class of 25, going up to maybe you can oversign a couple bodies. So you're going to have 65 guys that are going to be year 1 and year 2 in your program. So there's really just not a lot of bodies in that sophomore junior crowd. Well, he hadn't played in a while. He's coming off an injury. And again, playing against a good opponent, but I just thought he didn't set his feet. Just gave up on protection a little bit, and just was all over the place. Timing was off. So, again, but he hadn't been on fire in a while, and you're going into an arena that you're playing a team that's top 5 in the nation. So again, maybe he makes the opponent and the challenge a little bit bigger than it is, but he was, you still got to play within rhythm, within yourself, and he was just out of whack Saturday. So can we give him a trust line? I don't know. Same time, you got to block. You're collectively all playing together as a unit. So, again, those quarterbacks look good. When the line's looking good, those receivers are running fast. They're catching balls. we're in rhythm of run game. So again, it's a collective group. So, but again, the last couple 3 weeks, I think in Big Ten play, we're completing 47% of passes. And, there's certain throws that we throw that there's nobody to read. You're just throwing a bubble pass to a guy and there ain't nobody to read. Just throw it to the guy and catch it and run and get 5 yards. You ought to click those. If you're not 100%, you ought to be 97 point something at the end of the year. You might have one drop or one missed target throw. Some of those are gimmies. And so, to me, there's a fair amount of our offense when you're talking stress-free. That's why you look in this in age, when Buck coached, if a guy completed 55%, you were fired up. Now, if you're not pushing 70, and it's not that they're throwing better, there's so many, like what used to be runs are not just you get it and it's a throw, but it's basically a run play. And you ought to be completing 2 out of 3 of your passes in college football if you're a solid pass team. You got guys that are completing 70, and yes, there may be better coached and better developed, but I think people have understood in time how to spread the game out and throw a lot of high percentage passes. So to be at a 50% deals in our style, you would think our receiver corps is going to be pretty decent going this year. We should be much better than 47%. That's not acceptable. Well, I think, and I don't know, hindsight 2020 or it's all subjective talk, I would have been of the opinion our receiver crowd and offensive line with 3 seniors and some seniors would have been the groups that would have led us, and those groups have been the 2 most inconsistent groups. So you got, a tailback group where the best guy on the field Saturday was a tailback that showed up here in July, and you got a high school freshman playing and then Matt Perez. So, that group right now in a couple games, and Stephen Houston's just getting some yards because he's actually running behind his pads with good body lean, and he's taking 3 yards and getting 5 because he's running with velocity. I don't know if he's getting good blocking. So I would have thought the tight end group would have been a little bit better. Ted Bowles the other day had 3 penalties and played 15 plays. I got tired of seeing him hurt us, so I just let Max Devman play. He had 2 holds and a procedure, so that was enough of him. And so we just let Max play it out and go with that guy. So you would think here's a guy that had some touchdowns, would be a good player. Doesn't practice that way, doesn't play that way. So a couple guys or groups I thought would have been good, have been pretty disappointing. That being said, the young receivers, the young, Bernard Taylor's getting better the more he plays. It's unfortunate that's the way it is, but the young guys, the guys playing hard, they're gaining on it. Wish them would like, but again, we can wish in one hand and put a big pile of something in the other. We got the same stuff. So, bottom line is you make your bed, you sleep in it. You make your attitude, you make your energy, you make your season. And some of these guys are going to live with this. The unfortunate thing about what these guys do, it is documented for life what this is. Those are Big Ten games for life. And with the Big Ten Network, those pictures will be played for life. You covering a punt play, half speed, will be played for life when we replay the Big Ten seasons. And that's the beauty of the Big Ten Network. So we take tests as you do as a student, but we play in front of a lot of people. And your effort and your body language and the thing you do is evident for life. And there's a lot of stress. That being said on these kids. And at the same time as we move forward, I'd like to see these guys embrace, as I said last week, embrace the challenge of being a good Big Ten team. Don't be happy to be in a Big Ten team. Start working and competing and taking the pride to fight and go out and have some fun and play Big Ten football. And that's the challenge this week going to Iowa. So it's not all doom and gloom up here now. We need to play a heck of a lot better. But again, short term, we'll keep living in the bed that we keep making. As long as we keep making that bed, we keep pleading and in a positive way approaching what we want to do. Some guys want to buy it, they buy it. If not, it'll take a little bit longer to get it what it ought to be. Because again, we might have some issues, but the real issue is a team that doesn't play hard and play physical. That's not talent. It's not talent to hit somebody right and stroke them right like you played a game. That's a mindset, that's a demeanor, and that to me is the difficult thing as a coach that we're looking to do. We'll keep moving forward with that. What else? No, I mean, bottom line, last week they had a look, they were going to overload, and we had it built in. If you saw it, you could adjust the protection. And early in the game, one of our players that makes that adjustment got bluffed and changed the play. We typically just have our directional punt to the right or left that we normally do, and we've been okay at it. At the same time, I think we have gotten away with some pull. We did have a punt for a touchdown the other day. We have gotten away with what I think sometimes has not been great kick coverage because of some bad kicks. that has gotten away with it. But again, that one right there, we thought if they were going to, compromise us up the middle and overload us, we were going to move around it. And it was an unbelievably poorly executed play. But also, it's our fault as coaches. We allowed a player to make an adjustment that maybe we shouldn't have done. And that's not throwing him under the bus. We just gave him the opportunity to do something, and he didn't need to. But then once he did, we also should have executed it. We didn't execute it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're sitting here, saying, hey, we need to play better, and let's do a good job coaching, and let's give them more tools. But at the same time, the more tools you give them, is it time on task? Can you execute it good? You can also overcoach. And the big deal right now to me is every day, are we getting better? Are we collectively getting better? Period. End of the day. Short term, you can have, what is your short term investment? Are we making strides in the right direction? To win this game, to win today, short term, and as we move long term, what's our yield and what's our return as we move forward? And so that's, and then you're sitting as a coach, hey, well, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, and you're trying to help some guys. Then you've got young players, inexperienced players, new. So sometimes you can, quote, overcoach. Last week we've been playing with Leon Beckham's injury, we had moved Mark Murphy to linebacker. He's a freshman. Last week we moved him back to safety. That being said, he's going to mess up a little bit. He was also our best option. But he's also now a freshman playing a completely different position, completely different reads, completely different deals. So as a coach, you're trying to put your team in the best. You're also opening up a can of worms where he made a couple busts, and he's played as well as anyone on our defense. He's one of our best players as a true freshman. But that being said, you've got a true freshman playing two positions. That's not really fair. No disrespect to Mark, because I got a lot of respect for him. That's not fair to him. And that's one of our delicate issues as a coach. Are we, quote, overcoaching? So I keep going back every day, keep it positive, keep working hard, and are we getting better? And that's what I'm trying. So are we getting better moving forward into Iowa this week? Are we coming off as an offensive line better and the run game getting better? I thought we were making some defensive strides through a few weeks. Saw some things. Last week we didn't show up. That was a little disappointing because I thought, in a sense, we were moving in the direction you want to move in. So we had a bump in the road. Can we get back to moving in the direction we need to go? Yeah, I mean, the thought is there with Dusty and Ed being hurt, you're just trying to do some things where the quarterback's involved as a runner. If if you're not blocking well, you got tight ends, you got to run read plays or designed quarterback running plays so you can spread out a smidge and have an extra blocker. And part of that was just trying to take some hits off of Trey and Ed with Dusty being out, and Dusty will probably still be out this week, it looks like. But with Ed coming off the deal, we're just trying to get some. It wasn't a new play. It was just a formation to put him back there to do that. So we'll see some of that, I guess. Anything else? Again, pretty good ankle sprain, and I think in visiting this morning, I think the swelling's down, but I still think it's pretty tender and looks, another week or so, if not more. I think he got one of those significant enough high ankle sprains that when they say 2 to 4, I mean 2's maybe hoping, and it might be a 3 to 4 week gig. So again, he's physically, again, we've got the swelling managed down, but again, I think he had enough damage with the high ankle sprain that it's, there's some slight, whether it be slight ligament damage or tender enough where his strength level's not very strong. So he's probably a good through this week, if not maybe even another. No, he's battling, he's treating, he's doing everything he can, but I think it's a pretty good sprain. So, okay, guys, everybody good? See you.